What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm diving into a review of yet another addition to my patio, courtesy of Kozyard. This metal rectangular planter box, which Kozyard again sent to me to help me build out my outdoor space. Now, if you're looking for a planter that brings a modern, durable steel look aesthetic and one that can live outdoor year-round, I think this one deserves a look. I'll walk you through what I like, how it performs in real life, and whether I'd recommend it. Okay, so when this planter box first arrived, the first thing that I noticed was the weight. This definitely isn't a lightweight plastic pot. In fact, the steel construction gives it a very solid feel. What's nice is that the box was well packed and all the pieces fit cleanly together. Now there is a little bit of assembly, but not very much. Now, you may have noticed that the finish is a black powder coated steel, which gives it a sleek, modern look that fits well on any type of balcony or patio. Now, I did go ahead and unpack this 36 by 12 by 24 inch model, which does give you a fair amount of volume for plants, shrubs, or even decorative small trees, while still being narrow enough for a balcony rail or a narrow outdoor nook, which is kind of where we have it placed. Now, one of the features that I appreciated right away is the adjustable feet at the bottom of the planter. If your patio or deck surface is slightly uneven, those little pads make a real difference in leveling this planter. There's also a built-in drainage system made up of a center drainage hole and a soil liner and a water catch tray, which is included, which shows that this was designed for actual planting and is not just for decoration. Now, when it comes to build quality, the steel is powder coated, which helps resist weather factors such as sun, rain, and even snow. It can handle it all. Now that's a big plus for outdoor use, especially because that's where I have it placed. And according to Kozyard, it's built for all weather, indoor and outdoor use, so very versatile. Now, as you'll notice, I do have it placed in a semi-exposed spot where it does catch the morning sun and afternoon partial shade. And over the last month, it has held up nicely. There's no visible rust, there's no peeling, and there's no fading at all on the finish itself. It looks brand new. And in addition to that, there is an adjustable partition panel, which I think is a smart touch. If you're planting something shallow, such as herbs or flowers, or something deeper, such as a shrub or a small tree, you can split the interior depth accordingly. That gives you more versatility rather than just being stuck with one fixed depth for one type of plant or one type of tree. In addition to that, drainage is also well thought out. There's that center drainage hole, as well as a soil liner to keep soil from escaping, which I hate, especially because soil is so expensive. You can also add the included saucer tray to catch excess water if you're just putting pots in it like I did. Now, if you are using it indoors or on a deck where you don't want water dripping all over the place, that little catch bin is very helpful. The only problem is it only comes with one. Now, visually, I do find the minimalistic black design to be a complete winner. It doesn't scream garden pot in a gaudy way. It meshes well with modern patios, metal furniture, and planters that might otherwise look kind of generic. And as you can see, it fits in perfectly with all my decor on the deck, if you can notice it in this video. Now, I know it can be a little bit hard to tell from this angle on the video, but in my setup, I decided to just place two small potted palm plants separated by a few pavers for stability. And as you can see, they add an extra bit of coverage and a lot of beauty to my patio. Now, some of the palm plants, of course, are starting to die, but that's my fault because I've just forgotten to water them. Now, overall, what I do like about this planter box is that, one, it is a generous size. For this 36 by 12 by 24 inch model, I was able to place two medium-sized plants and still have room for more if I wanted. It doesn't feel overwhelmed or too cramped. In addition to that, it is also very stable because it is steel and also has adjustable feet. I felt confident that it's not going to tip over easily if a breeze hits it, which it has so far done a great job withstanding. In addition to that, I do also like the appearance. Now, as I mentioned, the finish has held up very nicely and it still looks clean and modern, even though it's been out here for a while. In addition to that, it is also very versatile. I used it both outdoors and even semi-indoors on a covered patio for part of the season. And the all-weather design held up perfectly, as you can see. Now, there are some things that you may want to consider when you're buying this planter. The first being its weight. It definitely is heavier than cheaper plastic planters. So if you plan to move it frequently, let's say for winter storage or to shift plants around, be prepared for that at least. Also, because it is metal, if you put it in full sun midday, the steel on the planter itself can get quite hot. That means the root zone might get warmer than, for example, a terracotta or plastic pot. So for heat-sensitive plants, you may want to monitor soil temperature or even provide partial shade so that they don't die. You'll also need to consider that this is a premium planter, so there is of course a cost. You basically pay a slight premium for the construction and the materials. And then finally, at 12 inches wide, you do have decent space. But if you're trying to plant very wide shrubs or a wide tray of vegetables, you might just wish for more width. That's just something to consider and match with your plant type. Now overall, in my context and my use case, which is a patio with moderate weather, decorative shrubs, and on occasion some veggies, this has been a solid performer. Now it's worth calling out that this 36 inch by 12 inch by 24 inch model is just one size. Kozyard does have several variants available, which is helpful if your space is narrower or you want a different height or a different width configuration. For instance, depending on your space, whether it's a balcony, a narrow deck, or even a full garden border, you do have flexibility. They do have round, square, and taper metal styles in their broader planter line, so that's something to consider. Now, if you're someone who has a patio balcony or even an outdoor space where you want a modern metal planter rather than traditional terracotta or wood, or if you're someone who wants something year-round that holds up to elements such as rain, snow, or sun with minimal worry, or if you're someone who is planting medium-sized shrubs, flowers, decorative small trees, or even vegetable or edible plants and want something more upscale, and you're someone who also appreciates design as well as function, this planter is perfect for you. Now on the flip side, if you're someone who wants ultra lightweight and portable, then a plastic or resin planter might be easier to move. And in that case, I would check out other options that Kozyard has to offer. Additionally, if you are planting very large trees or trees with big root systems, you may need a much larger planter or even a full garden bed. Or if you're someone who is tight on budget and you're okay with something simpler that may not have the same premium materials or finish, Kozyard also does have several options to choose from. At the end of the day, I am pleasantly pleased with this Kozyard metal rectangular planter box. It hit the sweet spot for me of combining ruggedness, aesthetics, and versatility. From the adjustable feet to the partition panel and the drainage system, it shows thoughtful design rather than just being a pretty pot. After several months outside, you can see that it's held up nicely. And if I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 for value in my context, I'd land at around a 9 out of 10. Now the reason it's not a perfect 10 is in consideration of the actual weight. For some users, this could be a drawback. And the premium price, of course. Now keep in mind, you are paying for more than just a basic planter. But if you're after something that will last a long time and look good doing it, this is definitely a strong pick. Now, one bit of advice. If I were to give you one tip while putting this thing together, when you install it, definitely check your plant selection against the width and the height. Because the 12-inch width means you'll want to plan your placement of pots and your plants accordingly. Also think about the metal's behavior in heat. If you're in very hot climates, consider some shade or insulating material on the inside of the potter itself. Anyways, I do want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review and you found it helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And also make sure you smash that notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming reviews, including more smart home outdoor gear. Now, if you want one of these planter boxes for yourself, I'll leave a link to it in the description section below. Please also make sure you drop a comment below if you have this planter or if you're considering it, and tell me what you're planning to plant in it. I'd love to see your setups. Until next time, please check out my other reviews so you can make smarter choices for your home and outdoor spaces. I'll catch you in the next one.